Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Happy Hour Podcast Special Edition. I'm coming to you mobile tonight because unfortunately I need to go to a concert after this. We are live at the Marski Bar right here on YouTube Live, and this is Steve Freemans Art Show. What I'm going to do is before we go live with author TK Moore, I'm going to go through and show you a little bit of Steve's art that's available. So if you want to come out to Marski Bar right here at 3301 Foster Avenue and pick some up, or if you want to find some of it online or have him do you some custom work, make sure you listen out for all the contact info for Steve, and he'll be able to do your custom stuff. And also, I'm rocking our very own Happy Hour Podcast Return of the Living Dead spoof shirt, which Steve did from scratch for us. One of the most mind-blowing graphic design shirts we've had done so far. And yeah, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start. I'm going to turn this around so you can see Steve's work. And Steve, do you want to say anything about any of these pieces right here? I think you said this one right here, actually somebody already purchased.
Yeah, this one is purchased. And this is a set of wings I photographed at FairyCon, which is a yearly event that I tend to go to sometimes.
Okay.
So,
and then, of course, this one right here, that's for author TK Moore, who we are going to be interviewing momentarily. This is for her book, The War Between. Steve, what all went into doing this for TK?
There's a lot of hand painting on the computer. We went back and forth a few times with some ideas, and right away, it just kind of clicked quickly between me and her what she wanted and what my vision would be, and she tweaked it up along the way, and it just turned out to be a really nice piece. And if you look into it, there's like 4 different elements.
Yeah.
With, fire and, water, And some of the elements that are in the book are actually played out here in the cover. So if you can't really tell from the video, you have to see this in person. The detail in this, where you see the little zombies and stuff and people trying to get away.
I didn't even notice that. Yeah.
There's a fairy, and then you get the griffin, and it's a divide between 2 worlds, 2 realms, I guess.
Yeah. And this all you did yourself. You all did by hand, either hand drawn, or was there any digital editing?
This is all just digital pen.
Okay. Okay. And then, of course, over here we're going to scroll into that guy right there, which that kind of caught my eye earlier. How long have you had that guy?
This one here, I did this one a year ago, and I've showed this on Facebook a few times, and it was something I wanted to do more like in the comic book style. Yeah. But I'm really into like surfing stuff and the waves, and I like nautical stuff, but I wanted something that was different and new.
Okay.
Something that a kid that's, into this kind of thing with some coolness room.
Oh yeah, that would look bad.
A wave with a surfboard, something different.
Yeah, and of course you do photography also, which we know that because of course we met at Graffiti Warehouse, and you've done body painting, you've done basically anything artistic. You specialize it. Yeah, you can do it. So that's one of the very many images that you've taken yourself. So
I'm still trying to figure out how to paint $100 bills.
And then of course we have this piece right here as well, which that's pretty cool. That kind of that has a little bit of a like kind of ocean feel to it as well. Like that one, it's not but now what is do you know what the girl is, like what she's supposed to be that's laying there? Like is she?
Well, she is she's a robot that's been washed ashore.
Okay.
Whether she's alive or not alive, whatever. But I just wanted something that was different.
Okay.
It actually originally was a photo I took in St. Thomas when I was down there.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
So I just switched it and did some editing and added the girl onto the rock.
So pretty much you tweaked a lot of this around. So that was an actual image that you.
I like to take photos and manipulate them a little bit, stuff that I photograph.
Okay.
And add stuff or see if I can make it cooler than just a scene.
Okay, cool. And then, of course, another one of your many photography images. Now, when you do these, do you go through and do a lot of editing afterwards, or are a lot of these just kind of raw footage photos?
This was just a raw photo. There's no editing in this other than the color. Originally, it was a color photo. And I turned to black and white. It was like, holy moly, this just works so well. And the model and the photo. Her name is Masha. She was a good friend of mine, and she's still a good friend of mine, I should say. And I say that because she moved away.
Okay.
But she's a great model, and I used to love working with her.
And now with that, how many takes do you do of photos like this? Is it a while before you sit down and you go, this is it, this is the photo that I want to display?
Image taken at the Museum of Industry.
Okay.
And this was done during an event with a lot of people there.
Gotcha.
Photographers and models. So we were all getting together and taking shots, and this is one that I came up with.
Nice. And then, of course, you have right here something that's right down our alley, a barrel of rum.
Yeah, that's from the Maryland Renaissance Festival.
Okay.
I had been photographing at the Ren Fair for years, probably 8 or 9 years, and probably had one of the largest collections of photos.
Really?
I got thousands of photos people have never even seen.
Wow.
I'll probably never get to all.
You probably have some photos. It's our good friend Tommy Simbazo, comedian Tommy Simbazo. He's always at Renaissance Festival. He wears like a bunch of steampunk shit.
Yeah,
and all
this
that
year
stuff
was the first year I didn't go. Things were just different this year for me. So.
Yeah, a lot of things have been different this year. And of course, right here, shout out to our good friend D.A. Gilbert, David Gilbert. This is his newest cover, Persistence of the Dam, which you did from scratch for David. And,
available on Amazon and anywhere books are sold.
Okay, so it is available right now. So make sure you go out, pick up a copy of Persistence of the Dam. Shout out to David Gilbert. He's hunting, right?
Yeah, he's out hunting deer right now.
So he's driving arrows. Like we said before, me and Matt said before, that he doesn't hunt with a bow. He actually takes an arrow and he drives it through the deer's throat. So that's how he hunts. And then, of course, right here, you have this lovely lady right here also laying across what looks to be, is that a tree trunk that she's on, I believe?
Yes, and her hair is just going down through the trunk.
And she also has a cool little, like, bone tail going on as well. Where did you shoot that? Was there any specific?
Tapsco State Park.
Tapsco State Park. Okay.
This was another event with a small group of people that got together years back, and she was model that came.
Okay.
And, so that was a photo that I took, and I always liked it. And I got a great big one in my living room, believe it or not, and I wanted to make a small one. Maybe someone would like it.
Okay, cool. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this around real quick so we can go over to the other wall. Of course, Steve, say hey to everybody watching at home. So we're going to go ahead and go over to this side over here, and I'm going to come over to this, which another one, of course, shout out to our good friend David Gilbert. There's A Serpent's Love, which, of course, this podcast, unfortunately for Dave, was the first podcast that he ever did. And it was very awkward for him because it was the first podcast he ever did.
And my first event here with photos was actually with Dave as author and doing a book signing.
Okay. So, okay, cool. So, of course, we're live here at Marski Bar and 3301 Foster Avenue here in Baltimore. And, Steve, if anybody wants to reach out to you for any of this work or to have their own custom stuff done, as we said, this shirt right here, Steve did this shirt for us. This is one of my favorite shirts ever. It's going to be hard to top that. Steve, where can everybody find you to reach out to you for all your work?
Website is stylemastersteve.com, or you could find me on Facebook, or you could find me at Stylemaster Steve in the Visual Arts on Facebook. So I'm around. Anytime you put the name Stylemaster Steve in, you're going to find me.
And of course, always go over to HHPod. If you want to get a hold of Steve and you can't find the stuff, reach out to us and I'll get you right into contact with him. And what we're going to do, we're going to look at a little bit more of the stuff over here, and then we're going to be live with TK Moore right here on YouTube. And then, of course, right here is another image of one of the photography shots that you took. And that looks like is that one of the warehouses down in the city, I guess?
That's a graffiti warehouse.
Okay, so that's actually a graffiti warehouse.
Yes. I think that's the second floor, maybe the third floor.
Okay.
The third floor. Hard to tell.
And of course, we need to get out there again because it's been like since 2011, 2012, since we've been out at Graffiti Warehouse, which that's where we met you during the Happy Hour TV days. And then we have this right here, which is very intriguing. It's called Reflection in the Falls. So it looks like it's kind of a reflection. So I guess
abstract. But it was from originally a photo I just kept playing with and playing.
I was going to ask if it was originally a photo.
Painting, and Again, another one with my friend Masha in it.
Okay, so that's the same girl from over there.
She's
Okay.
come to a lot of events over the years.
And then, of course, you have the Shape of a Dream, which that's a beautiful, just beautiful landscape right there. Was that another image from when you were on vacation anywhere that you just redid and shaped up?
Something that I had to do by hand, and this was a commission by a good friend of mine in West Baltimore that wanted something to send to a girl in Florida that he was, had an interest in, and so I made one for him, and eventually he got one print made, and then came back and got a metal one done.
Really?
The metal one.
What goes into the stuff for the metal ones?
Well, they're just printed on metal, and they don't have frames. They're really shiny. That's all I can say. They just look adorable, and they're better.
And of course, right there's another shot that you took yourself.
Yeah,
right here.
That is.
Yep, Maryland Renaissance Festival.
Yeah.
And then you have this guy right here, which is extremely badass. Mermaid with what looks to be kind of like an Aquaman type scepter. It looks like she's getting ready to go to war with an octopus. So,
well, maybe she's just meeting up with it. I had someone here, they were debating whether or not she should be at war with the octopus.
Yeah, I mean, who knows what could be going on? I mean, I've seen movies where, there's been that many, tentacles or whatever and all that. Yeah. And they were XXS films. But the only thing is it wasn't an octopus.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to fight either one.
Yeah. Of course, I have on my arm the whole the scuba diver fighting the octopus on my arm. And then what we're going to do is we got two more shots over here. And then we're going to go live with TK Moore, who's currently in the room. And this right here, that's another image that you have right here. Yes. Is that says Broken More Beautiful. So is that the same model that you've used before?
This is a different model. Her name is Ash.
Okay.
And she comes to events occasionally.
Okay, and with this one, you said this one's actually sold, correct?
Yes, this one was sold.
Okay, so this one's sold. So this one is not available. And then you have this one right here, which as soon as I walked back here, I saw that one right offhand. It's kind of hard to miss. So
this is Emily. She's a very well-known model, actually.
Okay.
She does a lot of rope work and ties people up for photo shoots and stuff.
Nice.
She's got her craft. And, so she's been around a while and does very well. And this one has two people interested, and I'm still trying to get the money out of it.
Okay. So if anybody wants to swoop through and pick this up before they do, come on in. Yeah, first come, first serve. So these are all here. Once again, we're live at 3301 Foster Avenue at Marski Bar. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab myself a seat real quick. I'm sorry. There's one more right here that I did not see. And this right here is actually another one of your prints. So that's actually pretty cool. Old school looking wheel that you have there. And where was that taken?
I believe that was the Nature Center. And I can't remember the exact name of the place.
Okay.
It's called Urban.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I'm very, very familiar with that. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing though. Like you have to go to like multiple places in order to like get different, photos and different takes on certain things. So what I'm going to do is TK Moore is in the room. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to pull up a chair right here, and we are going to have her War in Between image as the background right here. So pretty much what we're going to do. And actually, Steve, if you want to record holding that, no, I'll do it like this because that way I can see TK. So what I'll do is I'll spin this around, and then what I am going to do is go ahead and admit TK. There's that. And momentarily, we are going to be live with TK Moore.
Hello.
Hello. Hey, TK. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Hey,
I know I look like crap.
Of course, this is the Happy Hour podcast. This is our 1 hour special here live at Marski Bar. We're live with author TK Moore. And of course, right behind us is your very beautiful image that we already showed that Steve did for The War Between, which is your novel that's currently out. Can you tell us a little bit about The War Between? Of course, Steve showed us a little bit with it. There's all kinds of stuff going on. It looks like there's a happy medium of angels and fairies and zombies and wolves and just all kinds of crazy shit going on.
Oh my God. I know he did a fantastic, just a phenomenal job on that cover, because I actually had to fire 5 different artists to just even
Really?
just to gain an idea of what I wanted on this cover. And when he showed me the initial kind of what is that called? Just kind of like
the rough draft.
There you go. My brain is not here right now. When he showed me the rough draft, I was just like appalled. I was like, and the fact that these people could not gain an understanding and needed a half and half scenario. And one artist even had blatantly just downright refused. And this is going to sound racist, but she refused to do an African-American female like I had requested.
What? Why?
She said it just wasn't something she could do. And I was like, there are plenty of Black models that we could have used, but you refused.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I was like, you can't be serious. This is 2021, guys. It's like
now the model in itself, is that a model that you guys chose?
That was one that he drew.
Okay, so Steve, you drew that completely 100%. Okay, so everything in that he did himself. Now, what's the whole premise and background? Of course, the book is available. Is the book available now?
Not yet. I am still waiting to get it back from my editor. He is taking his sweet time with the developmental edit because I knew it needed some work. But I mean, for a book that only took me a month to write, I knew it was going to need some work.
And
I know I'm missing details, but where? I read this thing 17,000 times now, and I have no idea what it's missing.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, if you were to sit there and summarize the book itself without any kind of spoilers, what would you say? The background of the book is for anybody who would like to pick it up.
So, just to kind of give you a little bit of background about the actual story in itself, before I jump into that, is a lot of the stuff that I write come from dreams.
Okay.
So this one in particular kind of scared me a little bit because it was like an ongoing thing. I wake up, the dream would end, I'd go back to sleep, and someone pressed play on the fucking DVD player. So I was like, this is weird. All right, I got everything I need, but what is it missing? So basically, you have these things called star seeds and light workers. You got your empaths, your psychics, your mediums.
Yeah.
But of course, you've got the fairy tales of there's vampires and werewolves, skinwalkers, fairies, all that kind of stuff. And they're hiding amongst society in these human guises to just kind of like blend in. They're here for a reason, but the question is, we don't know what yet.
Yeah.
So my main character, Iris, doesn't find out that she is an elemental. So she wields, wind, water, fire, and earth. But
so she does a little bit of everything. She's just like, bitch, I'm the main one.
I'm the avatar.
Yeah.
I'm the fucking avatar.
Yeah.
And a Sumerian goddess. I threw a little bit of Egyptian gods in here as well. The Sumerian goddess Ashira, she is the goddess of foresight and fertility, but mainly in this, she is foresight. She saw an impending war coming. And one particular person that we all are going to hate here shortly, once we get into the story, he doesn't realize that he himself is not human, but he knows these other beings exist, and he doesn't like that. He wants the human race to be pure. So what he does is he basically kills everybody to reveal these beings, but then has the DNA of everybody from all the DNA swabs you get, the blood that you take, taken.
Like a fucking Noah's Ark of all these
pretty much DNA samples of the entire world of people who were pure. All the ones that he had realized were tainted, he wanted to go out and find and kill. But the chemical that he had sprayed upon the world only targeted humans, but and it made it to where these now zombie-like beings, because now they're soulless, or souls are just kind of floating around, but these zombie-like beings are targeting these gifted beings. And And so I had Ashira wake up Seth. We all know who Seth is because he also goes by Set. 10 years before his watch over King Tutankhamun's tomb to basically go and find this girl. But it takes him 12 years to do it because she keeps getting moved. She keeps getting fucking moved. And he's like, this is fucking ridiculous. Why am I searching for this person? And Ashira goes, well, it sucks to suck because if you don't find her, we're all screwed.
It's like a Zodiac killer. It's like they can never find them no matter what they did. And it's like in 12 years of searching, it's just kind of like, okay,
every time he got a tip, he would go and try and go follow that lead, turn around, and she's bye, see you later. Like he can feel her when she's nearby, but every time he picked up on her signal, Ian, who is our antagonist, would go, well, shit, he's here again. We gotta go. So they went from China over to the United States, all over the United States. He ended up finding her right outside of California, which if you actually look in the cover on the right-hand side, Steven was so grateful and put a little sign from California on it. It's the little green sign at the bottom right-hand corner.
Oh yeah, right there. Wow, I didn't even notice that. That's awesome.
He threw that in there, and I was like, "What? Hold up! I didn't even mention anything about California to him when he did this."
Now, is that him right there? Is that
that's supposed to be Seth?
Okay, and he's following her around everywhere she goes.
Basically, yes.
I mean that's like, I mean, she very beautiful girl, but that's like super stalker mode right there. Like that's just.
It's like, well, he's been appointed her guardian, so he doesn't really have a choice.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's like the Terminator, and it's funny because when you said earlier that the novel's kind of based off of a dream or something like that, I kind of thought to myself, I'm like, man, if at any point if you're dreaming and you wake up and you see a guy with a Christmas sweater on that's all burned up with a weird brown hat, I would get out of Dodge because that's not who you want to be messing with in your dreams. So. But that would totally be like the whole Freddy Krueger type thing. And then also you said that you're going to get, like when you were talking about the main villain, it should be the Karen who wouldn't draw the cover the way that you wanted the cover drawn. Like when you were talking about that, I'm like, you've already introduced the villain. It's that Karen white lady who wouldn't want to draw a black main character.
No, get this. She was black too.
Really? Oh,
I turned around and I was like, you know what, Martha, you're fired. You're fired. I can't do this.
God damn it, Martha. Like,
works for me.
I said, wow. No, she didn't. Like,
yeah, when you had the cover done, when Steve did the cover for you, was there anything for the cover that you said you wanted specific? That of course you have the sign, the California sign that's down, but is there anything in specific? You're like, hey, the story really focuses upon this one thing. Can you make sure you kind of, put that in somewhere?
That half and half.
Okay.
That half and half had to, because a lot of the other 4 artists that I unfortunately ended up just not, they couldn't gain that concept. They all kept bringing in like an earth and then like red up here and blue down here. And I'm like, I need peace on one side and destruction on the other. The war is between what, right? You know what I mean? Like people are gonna be like, well, this doesn't make any sense. Legitimately had a girl throw pyramids in the background and then off center the character. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
I think I can actually, if I can find this photo, it's freaking hilarious. I have to show you now. It just didn't make any sense.
Yeah, Steve just said, in case anybody couldn't hear, because Steve's a little bit farther away, he said that he's seen that photo and he kind of had like, oh, what the, that looks like the cover of the Mummy. Did she like redo the cover of the Mummy? Like that's what it looks like.
The moment I had mentioned Egyptian gods. Everybody just got this Egyptian. I'm just like, guys, we don't need pyramids. We don't need them. Don't need them. But they didn't gain that. And I just went.
But no, I mean, that's the thing. Like, you know, Steve, and of course, I've known Steve for a very long time. We knew him all the way back to when we had our TV show, Happy Hour TV. Very talented guy. I was lucky enough to get, you know, hooked up with him earlier on this year to have him do a lot of stuff. Actually, the shirt right here, if you look on our Facebook and all that stuff, this shirt right here is a spoof of Return of the Living Dead. And he went through and stuck my face and all the other people that are associated with the show, all of their faces on the main characters on this. Of course, there's the other co-host, Matt, who always jokes around and it looks like someone walked in and called him masturbating, you know, by the look on his face. So, you know, and I mean, that's just the whole thing. Like Steve did, he showed me that and it blew me away. And I was like, dude, like the amount of work he put into that, I was like, dude, you didn't have to put, you know, that much work into it. You know, it's great. I love it. But, you know, I was telling him earlier, my wife, she normally doesn't really comment on a lot of stuff with the podcast. She just kind of lets me do my thing. But when she saw this, she's like, that's fucking cool. She's like, that.
My husband's downstairs right now toking it up. And I'm just like, you want to smoke? I'm going to go night though.
And now with that, now, is this your first book that's being released?
This will be my second.
Okay. And what?
My third.
Now, what are
the Hidden Directive had two parts. The Hidden Directive, I wrote that, to be brutally honest, in 2 weeks.
Wow.
That was probably my fastest book ever.
Wow. Now, when you write, what's your process for writing? Like, do you just kind of shut yourself in a room and, you know, collect thoughts and all that? Like, we know our good friend Dave Gilbert, D.A. Gilbert, you know, Steve's done a bunch of covers for him. You know, I'm pretty sure he locks himself in a room, skins some deers, you know, probably just drives like, you know, multiple arrows into the carcasses of the deers. And then he just sits there and goes, okay, I'm going to write my book in the blood of these deer from the arrowhead. Like, you know.
So my whole process, it kind of, it definitely varies based on how fast I want to get the story done. And how much information I have. So if I'm starting a story based off of absolutely nothing, just something I thought of for shits and giggles, then I have to work through. But usually it's early ass mornings and late ass nights. But since I got this oh so lovely, you know, Samsung Fold, it makes my life 10 times easier. Because it's got the ergonomic keyboard, so I'm not having to sit on this fucking screen. Because every time, I shit you not, if I didn't have the door closed, my daughter would be in here trying to frisbee my goddamn laptop. So since I got this lovely phone, but 9 times out of 10, I would write on my phone. And that's with any given 15-minute span I had. Having a cigarette, typing it out. Sitting outside, typing it out. Getting ready to walk in the building for work, typing it out. My 15-minute breaks, typing it out. I would try and knock out as much as I could throughout the entire day. Even when they're awake. Nap times are great, but not for that one in particular, because like I said, anytime I flip open my laptop, she wants to frisbee the motherfucker.
Now with that phone, I'm kind of intrigued because I've seen the phone advertised numerous times, but I'm scared to fucking death of it because of the way the screen is. Like, how does that screen work? Because like I'm an iPhone guy, but I'm kind of on the line of getting that phone because of the way the screen is. How is that middle, like when it folds, is there like a middle material on that phone? Like, how does that work?
It literally goes straight across. You can see the crease in the light, but it literally goes all the way across.
Okay.
Like there's no break in the screen. Sorry. Yeah. But then, like I said about this dang keyboard, okay, it just makes sense.
Yeah.
It just makes sense.
It's like a computer.
Yeah, definitely would. It's almost as big as my damn computer at this point.
Now, do you have a definite date on when the book is going to release? Is there, like, are you doing like anything special for the release of the book? Or, because we all know your artwork's done, you know, the beautiful image behind us that Steve did up for you, you know, that's all done, ready to go. Is the book actually, you know, already in, you know, production? Do you have physical copies of the book already, or what all needs to be done before it can actually be released?
Right now, the only things I'm really waiting for, like I said, is I'm waiting for the editor to get everything back to me. And he started on it on the 11th of this month. And by what I'm looking at right now in terms of time wise, I'm not going to make it for the Christmas release like I had hoped. But as soon as, because of course now I got to find the time to sit down and actually reread everything. With a 2-year-old who's scratching at my damn door. But she actually goes to the babysitter 3 times a week, so I can actually sit down and focus on things.
Oh, nice.
And it's not going to take me too much time to actually get through it. Like I said, it's just missing some minor details that I can feel. I feel, but I just don't know. My writing partner, I already know I'm probably going to have to end up like just not talking to her while I'm doing this whole editing process, because I have another book, Connection to the King. We got that back a lot sooner than I was expecting. And so I've been working on that. She got so butthurt. I said, when you look at this, when you open this document with me, do me a favor, take your feelings, yeet them into the trash, because we're not going to need them. Because editors are not meant to hurt your feelings. But as a writer who is constantly butthurt, you are going to get your feelings hurt. I, on the other hand, have gained a sense of, yes, this needed to be done. I know this needed to be done. So crying about it's not going to do anything besides postponing the fact that it needs to be done. The inevitable. So I'm working through this, and she's just, I don't like what he said about this comment. And I'm just like, hey guys, don't care. I don't care. I got to get through this. And the more whining you do, the less shit that I get done.
Yeah.
So therefore, I'll probably end up busting out the edits, probably give or take a week and a half. But then I have to go through the formatting. I got to figure out the size of the book, since that lovely cover will lose a lot of its details on a smaller book. Yeah. I have to adjust my parameters on my Word document and my formatter to fit a 6x9. I mean, I just might do something slightly larger, but I don't know how that's going to fare. Because the end word count definitely makes a difference. When you've got 50,000 words, you don't want a 6x9. A 5x8 still looks big. You know what I mean? Like, and if I wanted it to be like Harry Potter, I could understand being slightly bigger than that. But like I said, we're going to lose a lot of the details on the formatting when we. You
also don't want to be like the thickness of Stephen King's It, like that book. Jesus Christ, like. That thing was like a Bible when you put that thing down. Like Stephen King's It, the original, like Stephen King's It. I've seen a copy of it, his hard copy of it. It was like when you put that thing down on the table, it was like you were putting down a heavy pitcher of beer on the table. Usually on the table, kind of like, holy shit! Like
it's a paperback weapon, just
yeah. That's the thing. It's like, someone wants to sit there and not put in what you want on your cover, you can literally just beat their head in with that book if you want to beat their.
Okay, I gave you a free copy. Here it is. Frying pan.
Now imagine that though, like hopefully it's one of those things that when the book releases, she sees it and she sees that amazing cover and she just sits there and she looks at herself in the mirror and just goes, I wish I was that good. Like all I did was just now that cover that you showed me, that was the one that she did with the pyramids, correct?
Yes. And then
she knocked off the Mummy trailer cover, and then Steve did everything by scratch, and it's just kind of like,
and this was the original that she did for me.
That looks like the beginning of a romance novel, like that.
Hey, and I'm gonna be a dick for a second, but one, I asked for a dress, not a tank top, leather jacket, and some jeans. 2, her hair is gray, not white. And on top of that, it looks like she's wearing a wig. Why does this? She looks like a dude. She looks like a dude.
she looks
what
like.
What are we doing here?
Yeah, she looks like a really bad version. And they do this a lot of times with action figures. They do it. It's called real scan. It looks like the really bad version of a real scan action figure. Kind of like, it's kind of like as if you had Hasbro. Hey, Hasbro, would you model out what my model will look like as an action figure? And then this chick will just put it on the cover.
It reminded me of a Funko for a minute.
Yes, one of those Funko Pops. That would be the best.
And then hold on, here's one from another artist I had. And again,
What
just
is that? Is that like a character like from fucking like Call of Duty or
Game of
something?
Thrones.
Yeah, like that's
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty. Like what in the actual shit is going like it like yeah, like I don't know. If I saw that, like pretty much that gives you like that paints a different story of what the actual novel is about. Like you're just kind of like, okay, so is there like some sort of like sorcerer that's like taking over the world, and now there's this guy with the machine gun with the helmet that kind of looks like Doomsday from
because it was funny because I told her, I said, if we can't get the sizing right between the two, because I mean, as a god, you're going to be tall, muscular, built, whatever. But initially throughout the entire story, he's in riot gear because I figured, why the fuck not? I mean, but I was like, did you really have to incorporate that? She goes, well, I couldn't find somebody that was tall enough. And I was like, find a shorter woman. I was like, I need her to be black. And so she gave me this white woman with a tan.
That looked like something out of The Walking Dead.
And then I had another one. This one was halfway there. Yeah. Not quite.
Yeah, it has a little bit of a Twilight type feel to it, though, when you look at it. Like, yeah. So I mean, that one's probably the best out of all the other ones you've shown so far. It doesn't touch Steve's 100, and that's just not me saying that because I'm friends with Steve. You know, because that back there, like that's all just from
that
scratch.
Is phenomenal.
But the whole thing is that was the best out of the ones you've shown me. Just some of those other ones, it looked like that they're really
doesn't make any sense.
Up and just putting stuff together when with Steve, you got an actual artist who actually takes pride in doing that kind of stuff, and wants his stuff to be out there. It's like, I mean, you look at it like this, like he has David Gilbert's books. He has your books. That's all getting out there. He's doing stuff on our T-shirts, our logos. So, the more stuff gets manufactured and cycled out of there. And it's like, I've met a lot of talented people, but Steve's probably one of the best, talent-wise. From if you give him an idea of something, like we're discussing, coming soon for anybody, watching at home. We always joke about seagulls on our show.
Seagulls.
Seagulls never forget a face. And, we went on this whole tirade one time. So we're going to have Steve do us a shirt of like this angry seagull with like his one eye open. And he has like a beard with like, an American flag tied around him, like a cape. He has a machine gun, like just all kinds of crazy stuff of like all this crazy stuff that we said, within, the whole thing. And of course, there's a shout out to your little girl right there.
She's just hanging out.
Yeah. So you said she was clawing at the door. So at least the good thing is it was her clawing at the door, and it wasn't the kind of thing where you opened it up and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, boom, there's Freddy Krueger just standing there like, nice to meet you. Like
Skinwalker.
Yeah. Or it could have been a Skinwalker, which that right there, like Skinwalkers in general, that's one of those things that like I love looking up stuff on Skinwalkers, like just the whole premise of Skinwalkers and the whole thing, with a lot of that, like it's super interesting, and you have all that, put together in your novel. There's so much going on that's going to just strike people's interests, and for your novel, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you go ahead and get out of here in a little bit, but where can everybody find you and find your stuff and find all the information on your book and for when it comes out?
So I have a Facebook page, obviously on Facebook. And then I also am going to be starting up some more information and giving out more information on my TikTok. I actually have to redo all of that because I imagine I just somehow got banned, lost all my shit. It is what it is. And they still haven't given me an answer. I appealed it twice, no information, nothing. Just see you later, deuces, bye. All, 2,000 followers that I had on TikTok and those who were actually following me from my work. On Facebook, it's Written in Dreams and then TK Moore.
Okay.
And I can send you the link for that if you ever want to just drop that wherever. I give updates, I post snippets, and then I'll be dropping links for distribution and whatnot. So in terms of like what I plan on doing for the release is I'm going to start a list of pre-orders.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if I'm going to go with just Amazon. I might go with Ingram Spark, who is a big distributor of Drafted Digital, Book Baby, wherever I can get it up there, because Amazon kind of just limits a lot of things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I do.
Not worth it.
I resell, and trying to get stuff ungated to sell on Amazon is next to impossible. Like I stick to eBay. It's so many hoops you have to jump through, and it's just kind of like it's not worth my time. Like it's just, it's insane. But yeah, I mean, especially if you can get it in a digital form, that would be cool too. And maybe if there was a digital form, it'd be kind of cool to like various parts in the book. If you have Steve do like certain illustrations for like a digital copy, for like certain parts.
And that's what I was thinking too. It's just the problem, unfortunately, that I'm having right now is that I had walked out on my job back in October.
Yeah,
so a little tight until I can figure out funding wise and whatnot. But definitely wanted to do that, just to kind of give people an idea of the relationship between Iris and Seth and how things move forward. And I am an asshole and turned Osiris into an asshole in this book. And it's great because we made the historical fucking joke about how Seth tore Osiris apart.
Yeah.
And Osiris just kind of wants Iris for this one sexual thing. And Seth goes, "Do you even have the tools for that? Your penis is still missing, or did Isis find you a suitable replacement?" I was like, well, why did I even write this?
That's great.
How did I even write this? I didn't even know the full story about what had happened, so I had to go and research that. And I was like, he done threw his fucking penis to a fish.
And do you have any ideas? Like, of course, you have this novel; it's getting ready to come out. Do you have any ideas on where you're going to go for your next one? Because that's the thing. It's like people who are creative, they always kind of have an idea of what they want to do next, where you want to move forward, what comes next. Like with us, we're always evolving with the podcast. Things always get bigger, things always get better. We have this guest, we have that guest. Things move along steady. The podcast isn't where I wanted to be. But the whole thing is we're always networking, we're always moving forward and trying to make things better. Do you know where you want to be with your next book yet, or?
Oh God, I don't even know. I've got Connected to the King, which is what I'm working on next. I have Fate's Design, and that one takes place in the 1950s. New York. It's gonna be great. And then I have this one very, very smutty book that I'm like not even thinking about even publishing at this point. It's bad. It's bad. But I mean, I have 13 other books that I'm in the process of just jumping between right now.
Holy shit. That's good.
All of these documents are what I'm working on now. Just for fun, shits and giggles, nothing crazy. And then on the side, I kind of just write a little bit of like morbid poetry. So it is what it is.
That's cool. I'm never going to sit there and shit on morbid poetry. I'm into a lot of morbid shit.
Pretty morbid.
Yeah, like anybody be like my tattoos are pretty morbid themselves. I have an octopus ripping a diver apart. It's just that's the way it works. I mean, Grace, look, we did Return to the Living Dead for our spoof show. So I grew up with horror and all that stuff, and this is the kind of thing like our show. Like normally like this is kind of more of a laid back episode, but normally we're out there, we talk about whatever. Like we're just kind of like we live in a society where everybody's offended by everything, and we're just coming out here just joking around, having fun. And that it's insane everything going on with Chappelle. Chappelle's just kind of like, hey man, look, I'm out here.
This is the reality of it. If you take it or leave it, bro.
Yeah. Have you not seen what I said about myself and my people? Like what is all this? And
it's all fun and games when he's talking about black people and crackheads, but then it's the moment he pushes the button on something else that everybody's offended by. Just cry me a river, build me a bridge, and get over it.
Yeah, a lot of that is started by people who have nothing to do with it. Like the person who tried to out him, who caused all this stuff with Netflix, wasn't even a transgender person. And then they did like a lot of research on this person. They're like, you should see some of the shit that she had on social media. It was worse than anything Chappelle had ever said. And it kind of went away after that. Like, it's just kind of like, people just sit there and like my thing is, it's like, you sit there and you watch our show and it's like, we have a lot of adult film stars on, we say a lot of, really over the top, vulgar, crazy things. I'm just kind of like, if you don't like it, very simple. Just don't watch it anymore. Just see you later.
See you later.
Yeah, I'm doing this for fun. I wish I could sit here and say, oh, I'm making enough money to take care of my family or whatever. No, I'm not. I did pro wrestling for over 20 years and I didn't make enough money, to support my family or whatever. That's the way it is when you're into independence, that, I accomplished a lot of stuff. Yes, I did. It was fun. I got to wrestle a lot of guys who are currently in WWE now or, WWE legends and, all that. But did it pay my bills? Absolutely not. I got the shit kicked out of me for 20 some years. I have bad neck, bad knees, bad everything. Shit, I woke up the last 4 days with a stiff neck and don't know where the hell it came from. Why? Because I'm a pro wrestler. I'm only 36, going on 37 years old. I started when I was young. And I'm just so beaten up that I'm just kind of like, when I'm 50, 60 years old, I have no idea what my body's going to be like. But, it's the kind of thing that, just like, with writing, everything you do because you have a passion for it. I started this show with no intentions of it becoming anything. If it becomes something, cool. And it's picking up steam. The YouTube's very, I'm focusing a lot more on the YouTube, like what we're doing right now, YouTube Live, because it's a lot easier to find stuff than, Facebook Live or, whatever. So you can just go to Google, put in Happy Hour Podcast, TK Moore, and boom, it'll pop right up in Google. Google owns YouTube. So, it's just a thing that it's amazing when you put your mind to stuff, just like all this amazing work we've shown today from Steve, all the stuff that he's put his mind to, all the years he's worked on his craft to perfect what he does. It's like everybody has their own one-of-a-kind type thing. Your novel isn't going to compare to any of David Gilbert's, or they're not going to compare to Stephen King. Everybody has their own way of writing, their own way of doing stuff. My style of wrestling is different from somebody else's. Everybody does things in a different way. And that's super cool. And it's super cool that you have 13 other books, ready to go. That, honestly, I applaud you. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get ready to wrap with you, let you get back to stuff, but when your novel comes out, definitely let us know. Definitely let us know when your novel comes out. I'll definitely shout it out on the show every week when we go live. Because whatever we can do to help you out. Also, when we're done, shoot me your address. I'll shoot you out a shirt. I'll shoot you out one of these, one of the ones that Steve did. And that way, it can plug Steve as well. So, just shoot me your address and all that. And we'll go ahead and let you get out of here. And I'll show a little bit more of Steve's stuff before we get on out of here on YouTube Live. So, TK, thank you. I appreciate you taking the time out. I know you said you haven't been feeling too hot or whatever and all that. So, but I appreciate taking the time out for joining us here on the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, Steve's gonna come over real quick.
Hey,
Say hi. How you doing?
You've only ever seen the pictures on Facebook, and I have that white video.
We talked once or twice on the phone too. We never video chatted or anything like that. So
yeah.
I want to avoid it. I just normally don't like being on video.
I really don't.
The other side of the camera.
9 times out of 10, my hair is a mess, and I was like, I got half of it done. I got to throw it up real quick, and we're all right. You should have seen me about 15 minutes before the show. I was rushing to try to get it at least somewhat halfway decent because I was looking like a straight up poodle. curly, all curly. It was just like, I'm done. I'm not doing this. No.
I just wanted to say thank you for having me do your cover, and it's actually a great honor, and I actually enjoyed doing it, honestly. A lot of people don't let you do the fantasy work that well, so No, and it's stupid how there's just this terrible market of designers who call themselves designers who just slap a few fucking images on top of each other and call it even. Right. Yeah, I see terrible stuff.
This is not art.
Just layers and layers of everybody else's images. That's all it is.
Hey, you chose the right guy.
This, I could have done it myself.
You're like, hey, I could have did that in MS Paint. Microsoft Paint, I could have did that.
Right.
Could have did it on my drawing app on here and called it even.
Yep.
Quit.
I mean, the drawing app might have been better than the first cover you showed us, honestly. Like, each cover you showed us gradually got better. Like, none of them can hold an ounce of, Steve's stuff, but, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, you guys get back to it. Nice seeing you.
All right, so TK, what we're going to go ahead and let you get out of here. Thanks again for, coming on and letting us interview you during, Steve's art thing over here live at Marski Bar. Of course, anybody watching at home, if anybody wants to come over and pick up any of the artwork, including, the art that Steve has done for TK's book right there, make sure, you come out, you pick up all this amazing art that Steve has, or if you want him to do anything like this. I mean, look at all that detail that is in this. Of course, the sign, we got a lot of this before we went live too, just everything that's in that, Steve is so talented. Make sure you contact him, have him do some work for you guys. It's amazing and it's definitely worth it. So TK, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and let you get out of here. As I said, shoot us, your info. I'll definitely promote the book online. I shout out Dave all the time on the show. We'll shout out your book as well. And I'll shoot you over a t-shirt or whatever, and we'll stay in contact. Definitely, maybe once the book releases, we'll have you on and all that. Normally on the regular episodes, of course, I have to go to a concert after this. My wife bought tickets to Pentatonics Christmas. So from here, I'm going over to that. And, normally on our regular episode, we do like games and, all kinds of that kind of stuff. But I didn't want the equipment and all that, to sit in the car. And, it's supposed to drop to like 20 degrees tonight or something like that. But yeah, we'll have you back on. We'll do the games, all that stuff once the book comes out. And, once again, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me out, man. And by the way, it's -4 here. So you can keep it 20.
Oh, yeah. That's right. I forgot where you were. Holy shit. Like, what
looking at the temperature like,
What do you think the warmest temperature is you've had there recently? Like, that you remember?
Like in the last couple of years, or what are
Yeah,
we talking? Summer or winter?
Yeah, like in the last couple of years, what do you recall it being the warmest over there?
110.
Really?
Yeah. That was 19, but we were also like 3/4 of the state was on fire. So about when a Home Depot runs out of AC units, there's a fucking problem.
Yeah. It's one thing if they run out of salt, which is probably in a lot of supply, over there where you're at. But when you run out of AC units, like that's, that
in a state that usually doesn't even fucking need them.
Yeah, because you're in Alaska, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. So that's only because you guys were on fire. Now, normally on a normal circumstance, do you guys see warm weather like that?
Usually about in the 80s.
Okay.
Like mid 80s would be about our highest. But in the interior, without the fire, about 90, 95.
Yeah. Well, that goes
more south is where I am, Wasilla. About 80 was about as hot as it gets out here.
Shit, I never knew that. That just goes to show how much of a mush brain I am from the 5 concussions I've had and how Baltimore I am, that I thought it was like Antarctica over there all the time.
Well, surprisingly, at least you didn't mention, hey, do you live in a fucking igloo? When you can clearly see that I live in a house.
No. However, you guys do have, I think, the last 2 blockbusters left in existence in Alaska, which I am super jealous of. Because if for some like if I ever happen to go to Alaska for anything, that's the first place I'm going to go is Blockbuster.
And the funny part is they're on the good side of town. You're on the good side of Anchorage. South side is where all the richy kids go. You got east side. You don't want to go over that way. That's the ghetto. And then you got the west side, which is like the old retired families, stuff like that. And then you've got the north side, which is just like me, the military base.
Now with that, have you been to any of those Blockbusters that are still there?
I went to the one on Southside a while back because they were talking about, what is that? It was right next to a Cold Stone, so I wanted to get ice cream and sit.
Nice.
So we walked in there and they were doing some sort of raffle for this movie piece from, I can't even remember. It was a Steven Spielberg movie. It was this jock strap.
Oh.
It was a jock strap from a movie. They were doing a raffle for it.
That's fun.
And I was like, oh, so what's the commotion going on in here? And they're just like, oh, buddy, good. I'm like, that was on somebody's nuts.
Yeah, it's like, I have no interest in this sweaty jock strap. However, can I get a membership card? Like, I just want to get some movies.
I have a membership card, so I was like, I'm gonna go over there and get.
I was thinking, I don't know how Blockbuster went belly up. Like, I really don't. Like, especially me, like, being a gamer, like having Blockbuster around today, like you can just rent the game and just play the shit out.
No, we had a place out here, even with Blockbuster. It was called Microplay. Same concept, just with all games.
Wow, that's
I was actually one of the only females in Alaska back in the late 90s, early 2000s when Halo first came out.
Really?
That actually played in competitions here in Alaska.
Really? That's
my brothers took first and second. Constantly in these tournaments. And then of course I had to put the 6 down because I have a fucking kid. That one likes to rage quit with my controllers.
Nice. That's good stuff.
I've lost 6 controllers in 2 years because of this kid.
My controller, and you know what? Controllers are expensive as shit now. Like when you had
Nintendo, pay $60 for something on sticks.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. And it's like way back in the day, like Nintendo, Sega, all that stuff, you could buy a controller for like $15. Even the off-brand Xbox and PlayStation controllers are expensive as fuck. Like, it's just expensive as fuck. Like,
yeah. And then this one decided to use my the disc slot for my Xbox as a coin purse.
Oh, that's fun. I said
Quarter.
not too long ago.
Quarter.
I said not too long ago here on the show that I once used our VCR. Like I once stuck my mom's diary in the VCR just because I used to like watching the tapes go in and out of the VCR. So I was like, well, this diary is about the same size, and put it in there. And she's like, you want to watch Ninja Turtles? I'm like, no, I'm good. I think I'll go in my room now.
I know I'm in fucking trouble, so I'm going to go that way.
Yeah. I'm just going to peace out right now. Like, wait for you to find the diary in the VCR, and then I'll be waiting in here for my beating.
Essentially, yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah. So, all right, TK, once again, we appreciate you joining us live here on YouTube Live, and, of course, here live from the Marski Bar and talking about your book and, the amazing work that Steve does. As I said, we'll catch up soon down the line. Just get us a copy of your book, and we're going to go ahead and let you get out of here.
All right, man. Thank you again. Oh, just
thank you.
Be safe.
All right. Bye. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. That was TK Moore. Of course, she was talking about her book, which, of course, is featured right here on the wall. Let me go ahead and shoot this real quick one last time, which is The War Between. She did say where you can find her online. Of course, the book's not out yet. You will find a book. Of course, look for this amazing artwork. Right here, The War Between. Pick it up. Look up Steve. We're going to go ahead and we're going to get ready to wrap up here live at the Marski Bar. And once again, we're going to shout out right here to our good buddy, Steve Freeman. He has all this art going on. Make sure you go out, find all of his stuff. And Steve, is there anything else you have coming up? Like anything artwork-wise, any other books or anything like that?
I had talked to somebody else, and we're going back and forth. I think she's in New Mexico.
Oh, wow.
And so we'll see how that plays out.
Oh, you're kind of traveling around with all the book stuff. You have
authors are all over the world.
Yeah.
So,
good stuff.
Anything keeps me busy, I guess.
Yeah.
And thank you for doing this
today.
Oh,
no problem, man. No problem at all. Dude, anytime, of course, you take care of us. And, of course, make sure you go out, pick up one of these. Yeah, any logo you see, anything like that, for the Happy Hour podcast, t-shirt wise. Yeah, all of it's designed by Steve. Steve does an amazing job. Go out and get the Happy Hour podcast Christmas t-shirt, which has the wreath on it. We released it last night. make sure you go out, pick that up. There's a couple where it's a whole entire wreath on the shirt. The whole shirt looks like the wreath, and then the sleeves are red or green or black or whatever color you want for the holidays. And also make sure you join us again tomorrow night. We're going to be live right here on YouTube Live with John Purefoy and Allison Purefoy. They're from the band Roses on Red. And then December 5th, we're going to be live on YouTube Live with Mr. Skin from MrSkin.com. So that should be fun. Also, comedian Tommy Sambazo will be joining us as a special guest co-host for that episode as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and wrap up our live feed right here at the Marski Bar. For anybody who joined us live or for anybody who sees us at home, thank you for tuning in to the Happy Hour podcast. Make sure you hit the subscribe button in the bottom right corner of the screen. And Steve, anything else? Where can everybody find you again?
The art show starts at 7 o'clock tonight.
Okay.
Anybody who wants to come by.
And once again, that's 3301 Foster Avenue right here in Baltimore, Maryland. Make sure you come out, check it out, find this amazing artwork online. Or if you want Steve to do any kind of portfolios for you, if you're a model, you want him to shoot you, or even do any kind of artwork, make sure you find him, reach out to us, we'll get you in contact with them. Once again, this is Ray. Thank you for joining us right here on YouTube Live. This is exclusive that we're doing for the art show for Steve Freeman. Once again, thank you for joining.